So of course last week I talked about the massive changes when of course it came to the last previous episode, and of course the same situation we're going to be covering. Of course, cut content or change content is more the better way to put it with this particular episode and the last episode, because nothing is really cut with these last two episodes. And the reason why I'm bringing up the last episode is because it all flows together and it's all kind of one nice neat little package as well. So it's not so much things are cut but more added this time, which of course from the previous episode you had Raphtalia added in, where Raphtalia was not actually meant to be with the Shield Hero. They were both meant to be separated from going into the portal and transitioning into that, of course, new world. It's the same situation here. Of course, Raphtalia is still with the Shield Hero and of course the other two, so of course that adds to the change. There are other little things that have been added in to kind of just allow Raphtalia to, of course, contribute towards the story. But the real kicker is actually the ending of the episode. So of course the previous episode covered 3 chapters from, of course, volume 8, which is of course the prologue, chapter 1, chapter 2. This episode, of course, covers Chapter 3, Chapter 4, Chapter 5, and Chapter 6. And the major, real big, fundamental kind of revelation is at the end, which is, of course, where they decide that they need to get to the Dragon Hourglass to make a run for it, of course, with Kizuna, of course, being the major component to that, because, of course, she can use the Dragon Hourglass to teleport to a safe zone. And of course they do some bit of, sneaking in, knocking some guards out, fighting their way through, and of course they find out that of course it's a trap. But of course they had a backup plan, which of course does with Kizuna doing something, of course, to then get to the Dragon Hourglass, and then the Shield Hero makes his way to it. And of course in the light novels everyone makes it away safely, but everyone being of course Kizuna, the Shield Hero, and of course, as I call her, Crybaby. So the 3 major characters that are there. But with Raphtalia being an extra component, that of course would change the equation. But a bigger change is of course the fact that Raphtalia actually does not go along with them and instead is separated from the Shield Hero. Now the reason why I believe they've done this, and of course I've speculated why on some of the changes in the previous episode, and I still do stand by that to a degree, but I do think there's some added things to add on to that now, that I do believe that the reason why they've done this on top of those other reasons is to add more gravity and weight behind the situation. Because, again, as I mentioned, the previous episode, Raphtalia wasn't meant to be with the Shield Hero, so they were separated right from the beginning, so you kind of just get that feeling of, oh, they went in the portal, they were separated, and that's that. You don't really hear too much about why they're separated, just that's the whole situation. But with this, of course, the big bad guy for this particular story arc basically shows his face, which he doesn't in the light novels, and doesn't directly show, but basically makes an appearance with his voice, and then of course says, hey, I'm now going to separate you, ha ha ha, this has all been a ploy, I'm going to let you escape just so that you can now be separated, and now I'm going to experiment on Raphtalia. Now I'm not going to say what is going to happen afterwards, because it's pretty obvious kind of what's going to happen for light novel fans, but this now makes you hate him more, and it adds more weight on the separation. At least that's how I feel. You don't have to agree with me. Definitely tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. But I think this adds so much more weight behind you hating him for doing it, rather than just kind of being like oh, they're separated. That's it. You don't really know too much about it other than just they're separated. But this time, you actually know who's behind it, and you feel it. And you also have a bit more gravity, because he's saying, hey, I'm going to capture this girl and now, experiment on her. And it feels so much more weighted. And I actually really do like this change. I know, again, a lot of light novel fans, I've read the light novels, don't want too much of a difference between the anime and the light novel, but I do think this is actually a really nice change, because it still sticks to the core fundamentals, which I'm not going to get into because, again, it's spoiler territory, but this means certain events that are meant to play out in the next couple of episodes are still now probably going to play out. Unless something changes again, which is probably unlikely, those events are going to play out, which is something a lot of light novel fans were concerned about. So I think this is a good change. I think it's a nice change. It adds a bit of uniqueness. Again, if you want the complete one-to-one experience of what the light novel is about, go read the light novels. But personally, I think these 2 episodes are quite nice. Of course, reflecting on the other episodes, definitely room for improvement, but I think things have much improved as time has gone on. So again, love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But of course, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more anime content, and I'll see you beautiful nerds in the next video.